Hello, everybody. There was a lot of interest in seeing how solo benders actually played out in practice. And so I've set up a game here, and I'm going to play Fire Ferrets versus Peely. It's just me playing, but I'm going to do my best to represent both sides so that everybody can get a good sense of how solos actually do play. So to set up Peely over here, I've just decided to load her out with her three character-specific tricks. No characters other than Peely can use these tricks, so I thought it'd be a good chance to show them off. And the way solo benders work is they have an 8-card technique deck. You shuffle it up, and they have 2 technique slots that are visible on the table. At the end of your turn, when you flip your techniques over, you choose which one you're going to cover up. So you get a little bit of choice and flexibility there that you normally don't have if you are a team of benders. All right. Anything set up? I'm ready to go. It's also critically important that if you're playing against a solo, you are also using tricks. Solos are, as you are about to see, very powerful even though they're a single figure. And as a result, they're balanced against the assumption that the opposing team is fully kitted out. Alright, so solos get a starter deck of 4 cards. It's 2 copies of 2 cards. I'm going to draw my starter hand, and Peely's going to take the first turn. So, I'm going to begin by using Set Ablaze here. Let Peely move 1 space. She places a fire token. You're going to put that right there. She moves 1 space again and gets to place a combustion token, which is going to put in the Earthbender space there. Combustion tokens are Peely's special ability. The way that combustion works is that they count as a hit when you're checking for hits, but they do not counter, nor can they be countered by the placement of elemental tokens. So if you recall, normally when you place elemental tokens in a space, if there's tokens controlled by your opponent in that space, they cancel each other out. Combustion tokens, however, are not canceled out by elemental tokens and do not cancel out elemental tokens when they're placed. Combustion tokens can additionally be placed anywhere on the board. So whenever Peely places a combustion token, she can place it anywhere that she likes, including in a space that already has combustion tokens or anywhere else. There's no range limit. And finally, I'm going to play her second card that I have here is Sweltering Heat. She gets a 2-power block, which is not terribly useful at the moment, and then she gets a 2-power range 3 pierce and a 1-power range 3 pierce. So in order to keep things exciting for the opposing team, she's going to throw those tokens everywhere. Finally, she gains her chi and gets a chance to acquire new cards. She's going to spend 2 chi to acquire Rapid Explosions, which is this card here. She's got tons of movement and tons of combustion bending. That's going to go on top of her deck. She will draw 3 cards and pass the turn to the Fire Ferrets. Okay, so Fire Ferrets, 3-card hand. They've drawn 1 of each bender's color here. And this is a difficult position to be in. So to start with, we have 1-2 Punch from Bolin. Bolin is going to use that to remove this elemental token from his space. Now, interestingly enough, Block is used to remove elemental tokens. Combustion tokens are not elemental tokens, and so they also cannot be removed by block icons. He gets 1 power attack at range 1. Looking at the options here, it's probably best just to go for the attack. So he's going to put both of those attacks down like that. And the reason for that is because Korra is already in a safe position. She's got... is because, actually, no, this would be a bad play at this point. I'm just going to discard that to get a chi. It's very important when facing off against solos to get your power up quickly. And so then Mako is going to use Flash Flare. He's going to place a token in this space, countering that one out, move himself into that space, and he's going to throw a fire token over here to try and create as much hardship for Peely as he can put together. Now Peely's tokens hit. There's nobody in this space, so those tokens go away, and that combustion token is going to knock Bolin back 1 space, and the token goes back to Peely's supply. Now, our Fire Ferrets are able to go to their purchase phase. They have 5 chi available to them, which is fantastic, but the options at the moment are not equally great. So they're just going to spend 1 chi to grab Liquid Lash. It's a move of Korra's. It's got a hold token on it. Peely has a ton of movement, and so our Fire Ferret player is hoping with a little bit of hold pressure, they might be able to give Peely a run for her money. All right, so now it is Peely's turn. She's going to gain her chi and play her actions. So she is sitting on a ton of movement. There's 5 movement across these 2 cards. But it's important that she takes into account exactly how many spaces she's going to be moving before she plays them. Because, if you recall, movement is not optional. You have to move when you get a move icon. And so if she has too much movement, she might find herself back in one of these spaces with a fire token or with an enemy's token, and that will certainly get her knocked out. All right, so just let me figure this out for a second. There. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, indeed. So, looking across my abilities, it is indeed the case that Peely is going to get stuck if she uses all 3 of her movement. Now, there's some ways that I can get around this because Set Ablaze happens to have a 1 power attack that she can use to block, but it's just a matter of doing it right. So if we go Rapid Explosions first, we move 1 space, place a combustion token, move 1 space, place a combustion token. She's going to take, her goal here is just to straight up take out that Earthbender. Earthbenders notoriously can't move very much, and that's really your only option with combustion is get out of the way. And then she's going to throw another one here, see if she can't get a line advance. So wait, how did that go? She moved, combusted, and then moves again. Excellent. Okay, so now we have her second card. She's going to use Set Ablaze. So she'll move here. She'll place this attack in this space, which will counter this token. Then she'll move again and place yet another combustion token. So she's going to drop it right there. And then she is going to use Incinerate. So Incinerate is one of her unique ability cards here. It lets her remove a technique card in her discard pile from the game. And she's actually going to remove that Set Ablaze that she just used. Having purchased Rapid Explosion, she's got tons of combustion loaded up in her deck. And Set Ablaze, while it's got lots of movement on it, is a little bit weaker, and she'd much prefer to have Sweltering Heat with its solid blocking capability. Okay, so now she goes to her purchase phase. She can't afford either of the cards that are in her buy area, and so she'll just flip the next card over and draw into her 2-card hand. The Fire Ferrets tokens are gone from the board, and Peely is still standing here, rocking and rolling. All right, so it is the Fire Ferrets' turn. Alas, it looks like Bolin is in a great deal of trouble. Peely probably could have taken him out this turn if she had have gone all in, given that no Bolin cards were drawn, and as I said, Earthbenders don't move very much. And the Earthbender player and the Fire Ferrets player did not buy, even though it was available, the Rock Barrage ability, which would have given Bolin a chance to move. Again, this is one of the reasons why, against solo benders, it's very important to be playing at full clip. That is, using full set of tricks, and possibly even customizing your decks. You certainly wouldn't want to go up against Peely without as much movement as you can muster. Alright, so what have these Fire Ferrets got to offer? So first off, Mako's going to use Flash Flare. He's going to put a token down, move over here, and put a token down. That's going to the discard pile. And unfortunately, it looks like the Fire Ferrets are in trouble. Indeed they are. Looking at the abilities available to them, I actually think that Mako is certainly going to take that one back. I apologize. I thought I saw 2 move icons in Korra's hand, but there is 0. So there's no way that the Fire Ferrets can get out of this situation. So they're just going to discard all 3 of their cards to get 3 chi, bringing them up to 8. And then they are going to suffer their hits. Bolin gets exploded back 1 space. Korra and Mako are both blasted back here. And Peely gets a line advance. Now Peely is standing in a very powerful position, but the Fire Ferrets will get a second turn because they suffered from a line advance. So with all of this chi that they are sitting on, the Fire Ferrets will spend 4 to buy Serpent's Breath, hopefully flooding out Peely. And they're not going to let Bolin sit isolated for any longer. I'm going to pick up Rock Barrage. Alright, so then we will flip another card over into their buy area, digging for a specific card on Mako that will help them in the future. Okay, so it's the Fire Ferrets' bonus turn for suffering from a line advance. And they get a not terribly exciting hand with this 1-2 punch from Bolin. But they're going to be able to make pretty good on it. All right, so we're going to start with Serpent's Breath. Gets to drop 3 tokens in a space, and then 2 tokens in a space beside that, and 2 tokens in a space beside that. And so here is what they will do. Placing the tokens out like this will hopefully push Peely into the corner over here at best. And if they can fill the whole side with bad tokens, Peely is probably in trouble as she lacks a lot of blocking. Now, Bolin's going to use 1-2 punch to set up some defensive positioning. He's going to put 1-2 tokens in those spaces. Those won't block combustion tokens, but if Peely tries to get fancy with fire, at least the Fire Ferrets will be in position to receive it. All right, so then he gets Rock Barrage. 1 token up to 3 spaces away. So he's going to go 1, 2. He's just going to drop that right in Peely's space. Is he? No, he's going to drop that right over there. Then he's going to move 1 space. I'm sorry, just get... Oh, right, there he is. He's going to go into that space right there, and then he gets 3 more shots, each 1 power, range 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. So the Fire Ferrets are in a rough spot, but they've at least put some serious pressure on Peely. Now they get to shuffle their discard pile and draw because they don't have any cards left in their deck. Now, when you shuffle your discard pile, you may choose 1 card in it and remove it from the game. And they're going to remove one of Bolin's starter cards from the game because he's in a bad spot and he's not being terribly useful to them at the moment. And this will hopefully get them into their movement more quickly so that they can stay alive against the very dangerous Peely. Okay. Now, it is Peely's turn. She is looking at a pretty nice little hand here, but a pretty dangerous situation. The question is, can she do something about it? And she is certainly okay because these spaces aren't as full of danger as the Fire Ferrets might have liked. Okay, so with Set Ablaze, she will move 1 and she will make a 1 power attack up to 2 spaces away. Just going to throw that on Bolin, give him a bit of heat. She's going to move 1 more space and drop a combustion. Take that, Mako. Next, she gets Sweltering Heat, which has block 2, which is going to take this Earth token out of her space and keep her alive. Then she's going to do a 2 power attack up to 3 spaces away and a 1 power attack up to 3 spaces away. Now, these attacks have piercings, either in those spiky circles, which means they don't annihilate against the Fire Ferrets tokens that are already on the board. And so these Earth tokens that they had placed to protect themselves will do them no good in light of these attacks. So she's going to drop those 2 there and this 1 here. Now all the Fire Ferrets tokens on the board hit and take effect. And of course there is no Peely for them to crash up against. All right. Peely now goes to the buy phase of her turn. And there is nothing that she has to buy. They're both 4 costs, and she's only got 3 chi. So she'll just advance one of those buy decks. And there is the card she has been looking for. Her big 5-cost card, Sparky Boom Boom, with its double combustion and double 4 power pierce attacks. That's all aggression, you will notice, which means when she buys it, the Fire Ferrets will know that will leave her vulnerable to an attack. All right, but the Fire Ferrets are going to have to survive long enough to get that opening because the situation here is pretty heated. I apologize for the puns. Okay, so Bolin's going to open with 1-2 punch, blocking this token. If Peely might have thrown the combustion token in that space there, and that would have gotten him this turn, but he might have also drawn his move card. So it's hard to say which would have been the best strategy. But this is the strategy I chose as Peely, and so it's the strategy we're going with. And then Bolin with 1-2 punch gets to put 1 token up to 1 space away, so he'll counter that token there. And another token up to 1 space away, and so he'll just leave 1 sitting in that space, hopefully to protect someone if they move over there. Say like Mako, if he moved over there. So with Flash Flare, he's going to drop a token on Peely, move into the space that Bolin's put some protection on, throw another token down over there, keeping the pressure on the combustion bender. Finally, Korra needs to get out of that spot, otherwise she's going to get knocked back. And so she's going to use High Tide. She'll move one space and do a 2-power attack. And she's going to put that attack right on top of Peely. Now, she's also going to activate Caught in the Crossfire, which says if your waterbender is not isolated, and a bender is not isolated as long as they share a space or are adjacent to another bender, put one hold token in 2 different spaces. So this is now going to be a hold token here and a hold token here. Now Peely's tokens hit. Korra takes 1 space knockback, but she is still in the game. You might be wondering, why would you take that knockback? Because it let her put those hold tokens, because that's how she got those hold tokens down there. Additionally, she's got access to the lighting in here is not amazing. She's got access to this trick, Gravel Blast. Unfortunately, I can't get a good angle to show it to you. But it requires her to share the same space as Bolin to pull it off. And so while they were in separate rows, that was never going to happen. So the knockback for the Fire Ferrets player there is a strategic play on a number of levels. Okay, so they're not going to buy any cards because the card that they were hoping for to show up in the buy zone has, but they can't quite afford it yet. All right, now it is up to Peely. What is she going to do with this situation? This is a rough situation, but she is lucky with what she's drawn into her hand. So she's going to open with Rapid Explosions, which will give her a move, which just removes that whole token from her space. Lets her drop a Combustion token, take that Bolin, move into that space with a hold token, and lets her drop a Combustion token, take that Korra, then finally move, which is going to remove that hold token from her space. Then her other card in her hand is Sweltering Heat. Block 2 will remove that 1 fire token from her space, and then she can throw a 2-power piercing attack at Mako there, and this 1 attack over there, just to make sure somebody in the back row is going to get hit. Then, she is just going to advance her market. Still can't quite afford Sparky Boom, but next turn, it's going to be a big one. Okay, so Fire Ferrets tokens are removed from the board, and the turn passes to our heroes. So our heroes will draw their 3-card hand, and they're going to see what happens. Okay, well, that is a lucky but also unlucky draw. All right, so Korra is going to open with High Tide, moving over into this space and doing a 2-power attack at range 1. Just going to put those tokens over there. Then she's going to go into Liquid Lash, blocking 1, getting that token out of that space, then putting a 2-power attack with a hold up to range 2, which is not actually going to, she'll put it there with the hold to discourage Peely from coming that way. And finally, Bolin has Rock Barrage, so he gets a 1-power pierce up to 3 spaces away. Movement that's not going to save him. Then he's going to put 2 attacks in the same space as Mako, countering out those 2 tokens. And his remaining attack that has range 2, he's going to put it in this space with the hold token, just to make Peely even more leery of that side of the board. Then, unfortunately, Peely's tokens hit, and Bolin is in the drink. That's 3 chi that the Fire Ferrets are going to get. And Bolin's cards from his buy deck are removed from the game. His other cards in the main Fire Ferrets deck, however, will stay there until the Fire Ferrets player is able to get rid of them through shuffling effects. Okay, so now the Fire Ferrets have 6 chi, which is enough to afford Firestorm, the card that they were saving for. And they will flip 1 more card in their market. Draw 3, which is not the end of their deck, and so there's no reshuffle, and hope that Peely does not have something nasty ready for them. So Peely's going to draw her 2 cards, and she is going to deliver upon them a great deal of pain and suffering. Okay. So what does she got here? Peely's actually going to go with Rapid Explosion, so she's going to move 1 space, drop a Combustion token, move 1 space, which is going to take that hold out, drop a Combustion token, move 1 space into a safe spot, place another Combustion token, And then she's going to use Sweltering Heat, which will remove the tokens block 2 in her space, put 2 fire tokens up to 3 spaces away. She's just going to put those right in Korra's space, and 1 fire token up to 3 spaces away. She's going to put that right there. Then when that's over, she's going to activate her trick, Concussive Blast, which, as you can see here, is target a space with at least 2 of your fire tokens and 1 of your combustion tokens, which is what is exactly in the space that Korra currently occupies. Then immediately knock 1 bender in that space back a zone. She's going to remove those tokens from that space and knock Korra off into the drink. That's 1, 2, 3 chi for the Fire Ferrets, and they're down 1 more bender. Fire Ferrets tokens take effect. There's no Peely for them to hit, and so they get removed, and Peely goes shopping. She's going to pick up that Sparky Boom Boom, hopefully to deliver the final attack onto Mako next turn. All right, Fire Ferret's turn. They draw their 3-card hand. They get their chi, and Mako is in trouble. All right, what does he have? He's getting knocked back, I'm afraid. He can discard Serpent's Breath for 1 chi. And he can use Flash Flare to remove that token, and make an attack. But alas, all else that he has is his Firestorm, which is normally a very powerful counterattack against a Firebender, but Peely's been relying on her combustion tokens, and the best response you've got to those is movement, and there's no movement on Firestorm. Perhaps a tactical error on the Fire Ferret's part. In any case, Mako's getting knocked back. Peely is going to advance. Fire Ferrets are going to get another turn. He's going to spend 2. In fact, he's not going to spend any chi. He's going to remove a Korra card from his deck, shuffle it up, and he gets another turn. He's going to hope he draws any card that's got Mako's color. His deck's now loaded with cards he can't play. But with 3-card hand, maybe we'll get lucky. He's got something to work with here, but it doesn't bode well for the distant future. 2 copies of Flash Flare and a Bolin card. So the Bolin card will get discarded for 1 chi, and both Flash Flares will definitely get played. So he'll put 1 token in that space, move over here, put 1 token in that space, then he will put 1 token in this space, move here, and, put 1 token in that space, move here, then put that token in that space. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. He's going to spend 4 chi. In fact, no, he's going to spend all 7 of his chi to buy all 3 of his remaining Mako cards and put them right on top of his deck. At least he knows next turn it'll be all Mako all the time. So he's got Ignite a Spark, but this maybe wasn't a great trick to end up with against one-on-one fire against Peely, because Peely's other trick that she hasn't used is Warming Heat, which removes all the fire tokens from her space and places a combustion token anywhere, which means in order for Mako to take her back, he's going to need to provoke her to use Warming Heat. But I think Mako is probably doomed at this point. Best play is probably still to try, so he's going to Ignite a Spark, Amplify 3, boom, 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 remove the fire from his space, and put a hold token in that space. There you go, Peely. Better use Warming Heat to stay alive. Alright, so now it's Peely's turn. And Peely is going to start with Sweltering Heat. She'll remove 2 fire tokens from her space, and then she'll do a 2 power piercing attack at up to range 3. She'll put those there, and a 1 power piercing attack at up to range 3. She's going to throw that back there, and I'll tell you why in a second. And that reason is because she has Sparky Boom Boom in her hand. She's going to put 4 fire tokens in Mako's space, and since the Waterbender is out of play, I'm just going to use water tokens for now. Our prototype doesn't have sufficiently many elemental tokens in it to deal with a Peely versus Mako matchup. So we'll put 4 tokens in Mako's space and 4 more fire tokens in the space beside him. Then she's going to put a combustion token in 2 different spaces. Now she's going to activate Warming Heat, which will, as long as there's 2 or more fire tokens in her space and there are no other elemental tokens, she can remove all those fire tokens and place 1 combustion token anywhere. And this seals Mako's fate. All right, so the elemental tokens on the table that belong to Mako and his hold tokens are removed. And now it goes to the Fire Ferret's turn. But since there's nothing you can really do about combustion tokens, even though Mako has got a ton of movement in his hand, some decent attacks, and could lay down some significant pressure, everything he does is still going to leave him with 1 hit in his space, which is going to lead him to be knocked back in the drink. And so that's it, folks. Peely wins. And that's an idea of how intense solo benders are. As I said, really what the Fire Ferrets players should have done is fully customized out their Firebender deck in order to have a chance against the incredible power that is a solo bender. Thanks very much.